Hello everybody and welcome back to Alex Elliott Golf. Today's video is all about green reading, and I'm going to give you two simple ways of how you can separate your green reading into two simple kind of thoughts: your start line and where the ball starts to track. Now, a lot of amateurs will start putting and kind of do what they see on TV, people looking behind the ball, looking for where the start line is, or just generally trying to hold a putt, but no real method to it. And a lot of people will just turn around and go, well, I can sort of see it moving in from here. But let's make this a little bit more precise. Let's talk about what the start line is, where the ball starts to track in, and how that ball's going to track into the hole. Because ultimately, if we can match line and pace, then we're going to hold a lot more putts. So let's talk about two simple ways we can make our putting a lot better. Now, this yellow line is going to illustrate my start line. Now, what start line is a start line is where the ball's initial starting direction is going to start. So I've got a right to left putt here, and I've worked out that this putt's probably going to move about a foot from the right. Now, how have I worked that out? Well, I've looked at it from behind, like you would, crouched down, and I've looked at it from the other side as well. So I've used a bit of my judgment to walk around the hole and figure out where my start line is. So I've set that out as 1 foot right of the hole. So why is also the yellow just going just past the hole? Well, ideally I want this ball rolling about 18 inches past the hole to give me the best chance to make the cup as big as possible. So that's another reason why this line extends past the hole, because the old saying, never up, never in, will never hold a putt. So firstly, we've established our start line, and I've drawn that all the way up. So this is simply how you can think about it on the golf course. So start line goes all the way up past the right of the hole. Now, if that putt moved more, the start line will be further right. If it moved less, the start line in this case will be further left. So it's a lot of your judgment comes into this, but using this method will allow you to have some structure to the way you read your putts. So once I've established my start line, I need to identify where I think the ball is going to track towards the hole. Now, that's the point at which the ball will leave my start line. Now, the more break this goes in the putt, the earlier it will leave, or the more break near the hole, the later it will leave. So it's again dependent on the ground, but you need to pick it out when you're lining up your putts and when you're reading the green. So I've established where my ball is going to leave my start line is roughly around here. So I'm going to place my red disc down where I think the ball will start to track towards the hole. Now, this is key because this will help us identify what pace we need to hit the ball. So from there, we've now established that we think the ball is going to leave that line at that point and start tracking towards the hole, carrying up the pace that we'd have if it was carrying up straight down the yellow line. Now we're going to draw where we think the ball is going to track. So I think with this green here, the ball is going to track on this arc towards the hole. So it's going to leave at the red disc and track towards the hole along the green line. Now, that's a really simple way of being able to think about it and structure the way you're going to read your putts. I've got one, my start line. Let's start this ball, trace that line all the way up past the hole, whether it's left to right or right to left. 2, let's identify where the ball is going to leave our start line. And 3, let's picture it tracking into the hole. So that's the key thing for me. It's picking where we think the ball's going to leave the start line and how it's going to track into the hole. So now I've established the structure of how I'm going to read putts. This is the same whether it's a long putt, short putt, it really doesn't matter. Let's go through the same principles. Let's look at the putt from either side, so from behind the hole and from behind the ball. Then let's establish where our start line is. Let's trace it all the way up past the hole, roughly 18 inches. Then from there, let's pick at that point now with the red disc of where we think that ball is going to leave our start line and then start tracking along the green into the hole. Now, you see this on TV and you see them use this shot tracer with putting now a lot. And I think this is really good because this illustrates how the ball moves and tracks towards the hole. And like I said, I think a lot of people struggle with this clarity of how the ball actually tracks towards the hole. And they kind of just hit it in a general direction. Now, if we want to progress our golf, we need to stop generalising, don't we? We need to get a little bit more specific, improve our structure of how we're going to read our putts, and hopefully we'll match more line, more pace, and ultimately hold more putts. Let's see if I'm right. So I've done my lining up and aiming straight down my yellow line and picturing it leaving that line at my red disc. So as you can see there, I pretty much predicted that right. It carried on all the way along my start line until it got to the red, and tracked down the green. Now, I didn't hold that putt, but you can see how close I was to holding it. It was a little bit firm, but if it wasn't as firm, it definitely would have dropped. Now, for me, this just gives you structure, and I keep saying it, but structure is key in how you read your putts. Let's not be wishy-washy, let's be specific, and let's hold more putts out on the golf course. Thank you for watching today's video on Alex Elliott Golf. So let's think about 3 simple things. Let's think about start line, tracing it all the way up past the hole. Let's think about the point at which it's going to leave our start line and start tracking towards the hole down our green here. If you can apply these simple tips and simple methods to your green reading, you'll definitely see some holding more putts in the future. Thank you for watching, and if you've not already, make sure you subscribe to Alex Elliott Golf.